Hey everyone, I'm Victor Dwyer, and today I'm going to go through on how to find a job you're passionate about and love on a daily basis because I hear a lot of people that hate their job and hate what they're doing, and I think we spend a majority of our time to these jobs of that we hate, and there's no point in spending a majority of our life toward the things we hate. So, let's go into like how to find the perfect job for you and kind of dive into it. So, let's go right into it. And today I'm going to open a Google Sheet. So I mapped out basically the best way, best path about going through and finding the best way to find the job for yourself. And then this sheet is my mind map of basically how I mapped out my brain. I'm going to share the sheet with you. Basically has all the traits of who I am, descriptions on how I handle that trait, and how the video on how I learned to kind of handle it better. And I did that for all the traits in my mind. So this is a completely brain map of who I am. And if you haven't watched my positivity video yet on how I stay positive on a daily basis, watch that first because you're going to want to learn the positive aspects of how I view the world. But once you go through that, then you can start really analyzing how to find the best thing and basically going into the work aspect of all this. So the first thing is to really find out things that you're curious about. For example, I'm very curious about how the human brain works. If I haven't already communicated that to you, I am very interested. That's how I got into marketing and really diving into how people view different advertising things. And that's how I eventually got to building my business, eventually selling my business because I love marketing. And that it was a curiosity, a related curiosity of how the human brain works that eventually got to marketing, and I built a demand and started getting paid for what I love doing. And that's what I want to help do for every single person. So you can take this quiz if you want to find things that you maybe related curious things about you, at least figure out what type of brain you are, type of thing. So first of all, dive into what things you may be curious about. Write them all down in a list of things that you may be curious about. And then you can start identifying it and categorizing it by what type of brain you are. So, for example, if you're a math type of brain, meaning that you love analytics and you love numbers, then you might love Excel, dashboards, reporting. These are things that businesses need on a daily basis that you'll be able to help out with. And then there's art. If you have that art type of brain, you'll love Photoshop, video editing, photography. And I'm not, these are just examples. These aren't limiting yourself to you. Everyone's a little bit of combination of everything here. And just keep that in mind. And I'm not saying these are fields that you're going to be stuck within, but I'm just saying these are going to be fields that you may enjoy doing based off the personality traits that you have and what type of brain you are. And if you're an English-based person, meaning that you love copywriting, you're very big on organization, you could be a great project manager. These are all things that I've noticed, basically between the math, art, and English brain. We're a combination of all these, but this will at least give you started of saying, okay, I know I'm a math brain, or I know I'm an art brain. I took this quiz and I'm actually an art brain, which is surprising. I would thought I would be a math brain, but which I guess makes sense. I'm very creative. I like being creative on that side and strategic. But find things you're curious about. Look at your YouTube history. See what you're interested in doing. It could be video games. And then you can ask, okay, why do I like these video games? Is it because I like the action? I like the rush. I like things that are fast paced. These are, you have to keep diving in. Take things that do you watch Netflix? Okay, what type of shows do you watch? Do you like it because of the drama? Do you like it because of the these are the things you have to really dive in and see, okay, what are the things I naturally attract to and how can I really tackle it deeper and what does it mean and how can I find something similar? Meaning that if I like dramatic shows, that means I like being in dramatic environments. I like the gossip per se. I don't personally like it, but if I were to like that, I would like being in those type of environments, meaning that I could be into sales or whatever it may be. There's always a way to kind of get into those type of environments of the type of feelings you like to feel from those shows. There's a reason why you're playing those video games. There's a reason why you're watching those shows. It's because your brain is naturally inclined to doing those things. So it's about finding those things that you're naturally drawn to on a daily basis and finding a job that matches that same feeling, those same feelings that you're attracted to, that is going to make it where you love your job at the end of the day. And it's important to realize that passion is just multiple streams of curiosity wound together, meaning that I found my love for how the brain works. I got to do that on a daily basis. I need a fast-paced environment. I need things that are constantly changing because I'm a very fast worker, and I need an environment that's constantly changing and constantly evolving. That's why I got into marketing. It's super fast. I love it, and it's always changing. It's perfect for me. And those are things that those multiple streams of curiosity of how the brain works, of figuring out who I am. Like these are all things that eventually wound together through enough curiosities that eventually lead to you being passionate. So that's you have to realize that's what it is. Write down a list of all the things you're curious about, and then find a way to like wind those together into one thing, and you'll eventually be super passionate about what you do once you start really diving in and analyzing and really diving into that curiosity and going all the way into it. It'll be really interesting. Like, for example, if you were always interested about how cells work, okay, really dive into it. Like, watch a video on how cells work on YouTube, and then you'll be like, wow, this is amazing. And then once you start going into this rabbit hole of things, you're going to be more and more passionate about those things as you start to be more curious of like, okay, the cells work. How does this work? How does this work? And then you start going into a rabbit hole. So really figure out what you're curious about and really dive into it. Like really go through and really go into that rabbit hole, because you're going to start to be more passionate about the more knowledge you have about it. And then eventually this passion is going to lead to a drive for you. It's going to make it where you're more driven on a daily basis, so that way you do have a better job. You do have that more experience. Once you have that drive, you can reach out to a local internship, remote internship, wherever you can get the most experience. Get on the job experience. That's the biggest thing for me. So I never went to college. So I basically need that hands-on experience in order to do anything. And I interned for free for 3 years. I worked for free for 3 years to learn how to make businesses more money in marketing. And it was totally worth it. So if you are able to find an internship that at least pays you something, that's awesome. Just so you know, I had to reach out to 14 different marketing firms to work for free, and all of them said no. Every single one. And the 15th one said yes. So just keep that in mind. Like, 14 said no for me to work for free. Imagine if I was trying to get paid. I would have for sure gotten a no. So just keep that in mind, that you're going to have to have some level of drive. But if you're passionate and curious about how this is, you're not going to be afraid of these no's. Yes, when I first did it and I was terrified of someone rejecting me and saying no. Yes, I 100% get that. But if you are driven enough and passionate about what you do, and you know that this is something that you're curious and want to go through, calling 14 different marketing firms, that's not going to stop you. The 15th one said yes. So just keep that in mind. When you're going through an internship, there is no reason why that business should invest in you. That's going to take a lot of time on them to invest in you, to allocate the resources, to teaching you and going through that process. So there's no reason. You're getting basically like free training that you would have to get paid for, and you can put on your resume. That's super valuable. And then once you start learning how to make that, they accept you, you learn, and hopefully once you get through that process, you start learning how to add value to that business. Meaning that you are making Excel, you are adding dashboards, and you're able to really, once you have that understanding and you're able to add on and add value to that business, then you can start saying, hey, I think I'm adding enough value to the business. I love to get paid for what I do now. And then now you have a job, and you started to learn that skill from your experience, and you're able to add value and add different strategies to what you're doing. For example, let's say if you have a art brain and you learn how to do Photoshop and video editing, then from there as an internship, and then you say, hey, I finished up this project. It sounded like you guys really liked it. I love to start getting paid for it. And the worst thing they can say is no. Then you just find another company. Then you can go to any other company saying, hey, this is the previous project I've worked on. This is the video that I did in the past. I love to work for you for free for a month, and just to see if the opportunity works out. And most businesses will say yes. Once you have a portfolio of things you've done in the past, they're much more likely to say yes. So once you have zero things on your portfolio, that makes it very difficult. But now you have a video of something you've edited in the past saying, hey, this is what I did in the past. I'd love to do something similar for you guys. And you basically keep adding value to businesses, learning how to add value to other people's lives. And then you will gradually start getting paid more. The more value you add to businesses and people's lives, the more money you will directly get paid. That's it. That's the game. So if you figure out that this video will earn them by creating them a overview video of their business to put on their website, that will add an additional $10,000 in sales, that gives you the leverage to say, hey, this will add $10,000 in sales to you by putting this video on the front of your website. I want to get paid $5,000. And if you can like say those things, that gives you a lot more leverage to get paid more. The more value you add to businesses, the more valuable you become. That generates the more leverage for you. Business is only a leverage game. That's all it is. As long as you are able to add value at the end of the day, you have all the leverage. If you're the one with all the skills of the video editing and Photoshop, and they do not have those skills, and you are able to communicate saying, hey, I can create videos that can generate $10,000 in sales, then you say, wow, okay, this guy has experience by creating these really good looking videos, and I like what he does. And he says that historically he got $10,000 in sales from the video. I want to do that. And from there, you have a lot of leverage. And now that person is seeing you as a valuable asset, and they are going to want to pay you a lot more than they previously would. But that takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of experience to get to that level. So you have to first have that case study of getting $10,000 in sales and having a video and seeing the results of that video. So these are all aspects of building that, and then you can find a job anywhere. So what I'm saying is get that internship, get that portfolio, build up your portfolio, and then you can go up to any business saying, hey, I'll work for you for a month for free. Here's my portfolio. I can do an awesome job for you. I'd love to add value to your business. And then you work a month for free, and then at the end of that month, see if they'll hire you. Boom. And that way you eventually have a pretty good job to kind of go with. And then next is your career. Basically, now you have a true career path to follow. So once you start out with video editing, you realize you liked it, you start going through with it. Now you have this case study of that's doing successful, and now you're able to go through this career path of you get into a company that does video editing as a whole, and now you're able to go through a career path of like becoming a director role, and then you're actually moving and progressing within your life and your company to where you're having a real job. And at the end of the day, you enjoy what you do. That's what matters. And if you don't enjoy what you do, quit the job. Quit the job and find a smaller company where you get paid less. There's nothing wrong with taking a smaller salary. That's the path I chose. I could be making triple what I make now, but my life quality would be dramatically less. For example, I don't want to wake up before noon. I don't. If the job makes me wake up at 9 a.m. every single day, I'm not going to do it. There's no amount of money that you can make me, that you could pay me to wake me up at 9 a.m. every single day. Maybe like $1 million a year. Like that would be like the absolute minimum, because that sounds horrible, because I'd be miserable. I would genuinely be miserable if I woke up at 9 a.m. every single day. I'm a late night worker. I'm making this video at 1 a.m. right now. So it's really important to realize you can take a smaller salary and enjoy your work where you're loving what you do. For example, rather than taking 4 video projects, you take 2. That way you're not stressed about all these additional projects that are coming your way, so that way you can enjoy your life on a daily basis. So don't stress out and don't take more and more opportunities that eventually lead to stress that leads to a negative decline in your life. Make sure you enjoy, find what you're curious about, realize that it's a passion, go through this process, and I'm telling you it works because it worked for me. The way I went through this, I was curious about how the brain worked. I learned marketing. I realized marketing is just learning how the brain works. If I give you an ad between a blue banner and an orange banner, your brain is going to click the orange banner. I know that. And that's what was really fascinating to me. that led me to be passionate about marketing. I went through a 3 years of internships of all different types of marketing firms. One marketing firm hired me. Then I eventually left that other marketing firm, started my own business, sold that business, and now I am merged with the company I'm currently at. So that is the process I went through. I went through this exact process of getting an internship, getting a job, going through a career path, and then starting my own business, and then going off and doing my own thing. And that's kind of what I went through. So I want this to help you the same way it helped me. And I think it can add a lot of value to you guys because we spend 60% of our life in a job, like eight hours a day in this job, and there's no point to do something you hate, especially when you can get paid for doing the things that you love. So I want this to really help, and hopefully this kind of makes sense chronologically on how you can do that. This is kind of going to give you the actionable steps of how to find a job that you love. So if you still don't understand it, feel free to ask questions in the comments below. I want to make as many videos. For example, if you say, hey, Victor, go into more about internships on how to find them, I can make a video for each one of these. Just let me know. Like, my goal is to add as much value to you guys at the end of the day. So just let me know, and let me know if this works for you. So that's pretty much all I have. Let me know however this changed or however you find. And if you ever any questions, just email me about, hey, Victor, I'm trying to get to this area, or I'm trying to find out how I'm curious. Just ping me. Like, literally just message me on any social media platform and just say, hey, Victor, I don't know. I want to know how to do this. Or I want to know, I'm curious about this. How do I get into that? Just literally message me. It's no big deal. And then from there, that's it. So, yeah, let me know if you have any questions. Thanks, guys. Bye.